this is Lisa Gavin, my wife. We're just going to talk to you guys a little bit about general issues with getting money during this time. Hey Lisa, can you at least share some of the first things that we see on a daily basis that interferes with, an individual getting their funding and things like that?
Well, I think today we're focusing more on business owners because those are the ones right now, especially, that are seeking funding. And let's talk about the owner first, because there's two different issues. There's the owner, or any other individual really, that's trying to get credit, and then you have the business. So let's start out talking about owners and what we see. So a lot of times for anyone, there's going to be issues with credit scores, right? Owners, particularly of a business, that's a struggle because they have so much more riding on their ability to get funding, because they're not just trying to fund themselves, they're trying to fund or get capital for their business. And so that means they probably have to have higher credit scores, and I think we find that, than just the average person, because for business lending, they want you to look pretty stellar. So if the owner is not looking at 680s and above, probably 700s, would you say?
700, 720 to get the best interest rates, yes.
Right. So if you're not in that ballpark, you're probably not going to get approved for funding, even if it's for your business and your business has a better track record. They still want to look at, especially in these times, they want to look at the individual to say, can this person substantiate me giving money, even if it's to the business? But if something happens to the business, which is very common in these times, the business might not make it, that individual still has to back that money, because they're not going to give up collecting that money. They want the individual to also be able to hold that loan. So we definitely see that.
I think one of the biggest things, in conjunction with the credit scores and what you're saying, Lisa, it's like I can talk to person after person that don't really track their income.
Yeah, that's a
They
biggie.
just put all their money into the business account, but don't substantiate any other income for their personal expenses.
That's true.
Say their vehicles, credit cards, and things like that. So one thing that the bankers love to see is that, sure, the business is making money. They want to see some of that money going over to the personal account as justification where you can manage your own credit and own responsibilities.
Right. Well, to elaborate on that, it's very hard for a lender to know the difference between what money your business is making and what money you are making. Because if you're not formally paying yourself, meaning you're on payroll, which is also a big problem, you're not payrolling yourself, or you're not consistently taking money out the account to pay yourself, but they can see that transfer separation of money, they may feel like all the money's just made for the business and the business is eating up all that money. So most people aren't necessarily operating profitable businesses. So how much are you paying yourself? How much of this money is really for you? How well can you pay your bills from the business? And so those separations, I think, are certainly an issue, absolutely, for most business owners. Vince, I want you to elaborate on one thing we see as a big issue individually, is the grasp of technology. Because you have 17 years IT, so I know technology is big for you. But please, tell us some of the things you notice with people when it comes to technology that the lenders are expecting you to be able to tap into to get money.
Yeah, what's surprising in today's world, the internet and computers, they became such a part of our society. And one thing that I've noticed with the lenders, they have adopted the philosophy. They expect you to have an email address so you can do email correspondence.
At bare minimum, right?
The simple stuff.
Right.
They love for you to have a bank account.
You don't say.
Yeah, a bank account. Matter of fact, online access to that bank account.
You mean I have to be able to log in and look at what my balances are and stuff like that?
Not only that, but guess what? From your phone is what they prefer.
Wow.
That you can have an instant access to your bank account and know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, additionally from that, they actually want you to be able to understand elements of your credit. Mm-hmm. And so to understand an up-to-date access to things that's going on with your credit, the best way is to do that is online as well.
Okay.
And so document submission, they want you to do email correspondence, things like that.
That means you would have to be able to like download a statement as a PDF
Yes.
file, PDF
Yes.
file, perhaps be able to save that on your computer, perhaps be able to email that back to someone,
Yes.
or upload it to the credit application that you're doing online. Yes?
Requirement. Absolutely.
Wow.
Now what happens, one thing I want to really share for us, I want to say more mature Americans.
Okay.
More mature Americans, I don't think they ever had the insight that a bank can actually go into your particular account and look at your deposits, what you currently have in the account, what type of activity.
Right.
In today's world, that access is prevalent. Banks can do that today.
Well, I mean, let's clarify for people, you do have to give permission. But the bottom line is if you're not willing to give permission, you're not willing to give your account number, you're not willing to verify that you can log in and access that account so they can verify those things, you may not get funding. And so a lot of people are kind of afraid to give that kind of access, but you're not going to get the money then if that company is more into the technology like you're saying, correct?
Absolutely. And one other thing that I've seen in helping people achieve things in this time, many people in banks, if the person does not have computer literacy, meaning online access to their bank account,
right,
email address, these other types of things, the banks don't want to do business.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah, they want to do business with people that have more of a rounded approach to understanding the technology, their credit scores, tracking their income and things like that.
Right, because those are required fields. It wants your email address. If you don't have one, you can't say, ooh, I don't have one. So that will immediately kick you out.